class, I'm so excited to be back with you today after the weekend. Today's objective is identifying theme. Now I know we've been reading Romeo and Juliet all last week, so today we are going to use a graphic organizer as a tool to uncover the theme in the story. Now at this time, can everyone take out their Romeo and Juliet plays? Once you're done, look up at me so I know you're ready. So it looks like everyone's ready now. So since it's been such a long weekend for our do now this morning, we're going to summarize Romeo and Juliet in 4 key events. I will give you 3 minutes to work independently in your notebooks, and I'll come walking around if you have any other questions. You may begin now. Use your books for reference if you have any questions, or you can use me as a reference as well. I want to make sure that it's in chronological order. You might want to look on page 20. Oh. That will help me. Now keep in mind that you don't have to focus on all the details, just the 4 main events that summarize the story. You guys have 1 more minute. More seconds to finish up any last thoughts. When you're done, look up at me so I know you're ready. Okay, so is everyone about done or all ready? Okay, so now we're going to play a little fun game called Whip Around. And the way this game works is that Allison is going to begin by retelling the story we read last week. She will then call on a friend to continue off where she left off. That friend will call on another friend to continue retelling the story. Now we're going to continue doing this until the whole story is fully summarized. Now Allison, would you like to begin with event number 1?
Okay, so Romeo and Juliet fall in love at the party, but they come from families which hate each other.
Okay, now who would you like to call on? You can call on anyone you want.
Eileen.
Okay, Eileen, can you give us event number 2?
I don't know what happens next.
Okay, well that's okay. Allison just told us that Romeo and Juliet fell in love in the first event. Now, what happens after they fall in love?
They fall in love. I think
Okay, so they marry secretly with the help of Friar Lawrence, and then?
And then, before the wedding night, Romeo kills Juliet's cousin.
I really liked how you thought critically. Now you can call on a friend for help, or for the next step.
Clarissa.
Okay, so Juliet's parents told her she must marry Paris. She agrees because she plans to fake her death, and then she escapes to be with Romeo forever.
Okay, now last but certainly not least, Angeli, would you like to give us the final event in the story?
Okay, so what happened was Friar Lawrence then gives Juliet a sleeping potion, but she appears to be dead and was put in a tomb. Unfortunately, Romeo actually thinks she's dead and then he kills himself. So when Juliet finally wakes up, she discovers that Romeo's dead and then she kills herself as well.
Okay, so does everyone understand the summary of Romeo and Juliet? Any questions? Okay, so now we're going to move on to our next activity. As I hand out the worksheets for today, I want you to take one and pass the pile to the person next to you. Once you have your sheet, make sure to write your name on the top of the paper and wait for further instructions. So, today we're going to be paying close attention to our characters and their development in the story. We need to really understand how a character changes from the beginning to the end. In order to fully understand the story and everything that is going on, we need to understand our characters. Now think of our characters as a key to unlocking our understanding on what the author is trying to tell the reader. Now one way to identify the theme is to focus on the details of the story. We're going to look at cause and effect, the outcome, and even the characters to determine what our theme is. We need to synthesize all this information in order to reach an overarching message. Okay? So let's think of, before I begin, does everyone know what a graphic organizer is? Can somebody tell me what it is? Eileen?
Is it a graph that organizes different events?
Right, so a graphic organizer is a story map that highlights the key elements of a story. Now I'm going to be working on this one on the board, and I want you guys all to work on it together on your worksheets. Now, in order to find a theme of something, let's think of a story to examine. Do you guys have any favorite stories that you guys want to pick? Allison?
Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, Beauty and the Beast is a good one. Anyone else? Is everyone okay with Beauty and the Beast? Clarissa?
Can we do Snow White?
Snow White? Snow White is also another good option. Okay, we have two stories. Let's vote. Now raise your hand if you want to do Beauty and the Beast. Okay, raise your hand if you want Snow White. Okay, I'm sorry, Allison. We'll do Beauty and the Beast next time, okay? But Snow White is really a great story to examine to find the theme. Now, if I want to see the message that the author is trying to tell me in Snow White, I really need to understand how the characters develop. So can somebody name off the characters in Snow White? Allison?
Snow White.
Snow White, obviously a good one. Angeli?
The Queen.
The Queen, the evil queen, yeah. Any other characters? Eileen?
7 dwarfs.
The Seven Dwarfs.
Prince Charming.
And Prince Charming. Okay. For the sake of our graphic organizer, we're just going to focus on the evil queen and Snow White. Now, in order to identify the theme, I need to see how the evil queen and the Snow White act in the story. And so we're going to focus on the cause and effect first. So I know that the effect is that, what happened in the story? The evil queen gave Snow White a what?
Poison.
Yeah, right. She gave Snow White a poison apple. So I'm going to write that here. Now, as I'm writing it down, I want you guys to think of the effect. Now think to ourselves, why did the evil queen give Snow White a poison apple? What was the reason she did that? Angeli?
Because she wanted to kill her.
Okay, she did want to kill her. What else?
She hated her.
She did hate her. Now, I want the class to think a little bit more critically. Why did she want to kill her, and why did she hate her? There were reasons of why the evil queen felt this way. Clarissa?
She was jealous of her beauty.
She was. So the evil queen was jealous of Snow White's beauty. Okay, so the cause of this story was that the evil queen was jealous of Snow White's beauty. Therefore, she gave Snow White the poisoned apple. Does everyone understand cause and effect before I move on to the outcome? Okay, so I'm going to move on to the outcome now. And just like every other Disney story, we all know that what? Snow White ended up
Marrying Prince Charming.
happily ever after, right? And the queen was punished for her actions. So Snow White, happy ending, and the queen punished. I'll give you a second to write this down in your notes. So look up at me when you're done so I know you're ready. Okay, great. So right now we're going to look at the cause, the effect, the outcome to determine the theme. Now the theme is the main message that the author is trying to tell the readers. So what do you think, looking at our graphic organizer, what do you think the message is that the author is trying to tell us? What is he saying about jealousy?
I think that jealousy is bad.
Yeah. What else? Anybody else? Clarissa?
I think that it can be dangerous.
Dangerous. Those are both correct answers. So the author is trying to tell us and warn us about the dangers of jealousy. He's saying that it's harmful and it's a bad emotion to have. Additionally, he's also telling us that it can ruin relationships and it can also have personal consequences, just like we saw in the story of Snow White. Now, although this is just a simple example on how to use a graphic organizer, this will help us in our future activities. Did everyone write this down? Anyone need more time? Okay, so now I'm going to pair you up into partners. You are going to work with the partner next to you on a cause and effect graphic organizer, but this time I want you to focus on the Romeo and Juliet play. So I'm going to give you the cause, and you and your partner are going to think of the effect and the outcome. Okay, now before I begin, can somebody remind me what group work should look like?
So we both
Contribute.
contribute.
Okay, so both partners are contributing. What else?
We respect each other's opinion.
Respect each other's opinions. Okay, now I'd like to see all those things while you guys are working together, okay? Okay, now I'm going to write the cause down, and once I write it down, you guys could begin. Okay, so the cause in Romeo and Juliet was that the Capulets and Montagues were what?
Enemies, rivals.
Fighting.
They were rivals, they were in a feud. But, despite the feud, what happened?
Romeo and Juliet still fall in love.
Yes, Romeo and Juliet fall in love. Okay, so now that I've given you the cause, I want you guys to work together to think of the effect and the outcome. Okay, I'll be walking around if you have any questions, and you may begin now. You have 3 minutes to work together.
They meet at that party.
So I know.
I can't remember, was it
families
a party
meet
that
each other, right?
one of their families was putting on, or
What would you do?
I forget.
I don't remember. But they're just like finding them in town. They're both big
You have to
families.
go behind the
Um,
fence.
so
So
then
what
they just meet at like some of their thing. I don't know.
Right, I can't
But
remember.
what,
Okay, yeah, but it's a big deal.
so because they hate each
If
other,
they're
what
such
does that
important families, right?
produce? Or what,
Okay, so then, but
they can't
you,
meet
Romeo
each
and
other
Juliet,
because
just fall in
the two
love.
families
Okay.
are.
So which is like a big deal
Cause
then, because
and
they're
the
such important.
what?
So then the effect,
That
okay,
might have-
well, they want to be together.
They want to be, so they like,
So they come up with a
Okay.
plan to,
they go basically.
Okay, job guys.
Their family's back.
right,
They don't want that.
How are you guys doing?
And then.
we're doing good,
So
we're not
because
right
of
now.
the questions, they can't
No, not
be together
I
right now.
think so.
Okay, great. Make sure you look at the cause and the effect to determine the outcome.
Right, okay, thanks.
Okay.
So, okay,
Outcome would be,
yeah.
Yeah.
1 more minute
So,
to
how would they
finish
take
up our
their own
thoughts.
lives, right, so that in death they can be together.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I think that's,
Um,
yes, okay, so then effect would be come up with a plan, maybe that flyer, and then the outcome would be that,
It's like they do that.
right.
They do fall in love.
But, yeah, backfires. Oh, yeah,
But
okay,
they fall in love.
Okay.
Right.
that sounds good.
That's good.
Okay,
Power.
great.
After life.
Okay, is everybody ready? Now, can the first group, Eileen and Allison, tell me what the effect was?
Well, we both said that even though they fell in love, because of the feud, their parents aren't allowing them to be together.
Okay. Angela and Clarissa, would you agree that that is the effect?
Yes.
Okay. Now, group number 2, Clarissa and Angela, can you tell me what the outcome of that was?
So Romeo and Juliet take their own lives, and in death are together.
Okay, and would group number 1 agree that that was the effect? I mean, that was the outcome.
Yeah, sounds right.
Okay, great. Now, I loved all the brainstorming that I saw while I was walking around. And now just to wrap up this activity, we're going to spend 2 minutes independently working in our notebooks to determine a theme. Now, it just has to be 1 sentence, nothing fancy, but just remember that a theme is the central message that the author is trying to tell us. So be sure to look at your graphic organizers that you did with your partner, look at the cause, the effect, the outcome, and really think about what the theme might be, is what the message might be. Okay, you guys can begin now. Thirty more seconds. When you're done, look up at me so I know you're ready. Looks like we have a couple people still working, so we'll give them 10 more seconds to finish. Okay, is everyone ready? Okay, great. Now, can I have a couple volunteers to tell me what they thought the theme was based off the graphic organizer? Clarissa?
So I said like my central point was that the forcefulness of love was like the topic, and
Okay.
then my sentence I put, the play focuses on romantic love and passion between Romeo and Juliet.
So how did you come up with that theme?
Well, I looked at the cause and the effect and saw how Romeo and Juliet, their parents like said no, but their love for each other like prevailed through like to the end, and they even like ended up dying just so that they could be together.
Okay, great. That is one of the themes. Can I get another volunteer? Allison?
Yeah, so after putting everything together, I thought the message was that we should put aside all our differences and for the sake of more peaceful and happy future for our children.
Good job. Now, does everyone understand how to use a graphic organizer to determine the theme? Are there any questions? Okay, great. So I saw a lot of great work today, and I'm super proud of all of you guys. Now, if you can put your name at the top of your graphic organizer, and from the back row, just pass your papers forward so I can come collect them. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now for homework, I would like all of you guys to use a cause and effect graphic organizer to determine the theme in this passage that I'm about to give you. Now, remember to fill in the cause, the effect, and the outcome, and then you'll find out what the theme is, okay? Now, don't forget to pick one up before you leave, and if you have any other questions, be sure to come see me after class, and I'd love to chat with you guys. Thank you.